Hello and welcome to my channel, my mess. My name is Doodle Robot and today we're going to look at July and August finished pages. Woohoo, yay. So pretty much the last pages I did here in hell, basically. I'm leaving, thank goodness. Lots of announcements. I'll kind of sprinkle them throughout the talk here. All right, so in our group buddy color, which hardly anybody did, I think maybe 2 or 3 other people did it besides me. This was for July. It does seem like people are very busy in the summer and usually around Christmas as well. We've got Mid-Century Modern Animals, our group buddy color. Now for this we had, instead of a page picked out, we had a color scheme. I use the term loosely because there were 12 in the color scheme. Now, I don't know, but in art school we learned that a color scheme was 3 to 5 colors. And possibly those 3 to 5 colors, tints and shades. But essentially 3 to 5 colors. Yeah. So with 12 colors, I didn't like it. I was like, why did they vote for this? But it was a color wheel instead. And it was a very muted color wheel. Mine does not look muted. I had so much trouble, like the month started off bad. This was done July 1st, or I might have started a little before that. But mentally, July was kind of a down month for me. You know, I had retired at the end of May, and I spent all of June just freaked out and stressed. And then I was kind of, I don't want to say depressed. I don't really go to depression, but I was just kind of having some me time. But it seems like a lot of pages I did, like things went wrong with them in July, and just a reflection of my mental state at the time. Although, by the end, I started applying for jobs and got one, so, you know, things are looking up. So, you know, I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna do the scheme. And I did a trick. We'll talk about the disasters here in a second because, well, we'll talk about that first. I went to a lot of trouble to like get the right blends, and some required me to mix different colors here to match the 12 color wheel thing that I saw on my phone. And then I went to all this trouble, you know, science here, to get the colors, and then I put them here, and it doesn't react like Amazon paper. I prefer my alcohol markers on Amazon paper. I really do. They totally change color, and they're much darker than they are here. So the minute I went to all this trouble to get the right colors, the minute I start putting here, they totally change. So throws the color scheme out the window, basically. I tried, you know, I just applied it and went with it and went forward and finished it. But I mean, these are fairly true out here, although a bit bolder and darker. On the colors that I didn't like in the color wheel, basically, I mean, it was 12. It was basically a muted color wheel. I just did a trick where I just outlined with them. So we got some pink and purple and some dark, I don't know, green or something there. I just did very little skinny outlines with them. So I did use all 12 of the colors. Now, I did notice that only 2 or 3 other people did this in the group. And some people said there were too many colors in the scheme. Some people said too many choices, too many colors, and then you had to pick your own page kind of thing. So I think it's best to just go back to what we normally do. Normally we pick a page. This is going to be the page for September. And they can pick their own color schemes, their own colors. I think that works better for the group. Yeah, but that was kind of the disaster I started out with in July. So it's kind of funny thinking back on it now, but you know, it's a good reflection. Like some of my pictures are a good reflection of my mental state. I think that's kind of funny. All right, and then another little disaster. We have Dark Garden. Although I was so proud because Tropica was coming in the mail or had just arrived, and I had one Carla Magana book that was not colored in yet, and I wanted to color in that. So I colored in that one, and I colored in Tropica, which means, this is rare for me, all of my Carla Magana books have at least one coloring, if not more, in them. So kind of proud of myself. Let's do an announcement before we start on this. So it's Tuesday right after Labor Day, so that's like September 5th maybe, possibly. I'm pre-shooting 3 videos. So I have today and tomorrow here in Arizona, in, the town from hell. And then on Thursday I hit the road for Oklahoma. My apartment's ready. I gotta call and get the electric turned on for Saturday. I'm gonna be in my apartment by Saturday. Yay, celebrate. So I'm pre-shooting. I already pre-shot a video where I went to, in the middle of everything, I took a trip to Roswell because it was on the way, sort of, slight detour. And since it's my last few days here, I took a quick trip to Phoenix to visit a friend in a hospice situation and then some family, because all my friends and family live there. All my family lives there. My friends are in Tucson, where I lived for 20 years. But there was the most amazing, some shopping got done there, because road trip to a town where there's stores, Doodle's gonna shop. So I typed in Dick Blick, and 2 popped up in Phoenix. There's always been the one by the college, ASU. There's a new one there, and so I'm like, well, that's kind of on the way home. So I went to that one. It was brand new. It was the grand opening. I didn't know because it was just on Google Maps. It's huge. It's gorgeous. So you got to check out that video, see what I got. I did some damage there. And the other video I'm going to shoot, and I don't know in what order they'll air. The other video I'm going to shoot is my color inspiration video. I don't have, all of my books are 4 states away in Oklahoma, so I'm just going to do the color. I thought of something. I'm going to do the color inspirations from the books that I have here in the house, with just a few, so I could shoot a video and stuff, and some new things that I purchased. But that is getting shot. They're going to be posted on Sunday, so that gives me 2.5 to 3 weeks, so I can hopefully get moved and set up and continue filming for the channel. So please stay tuned and watch those. I don't know in what order they're going to go, so you might be getting all of this out of order. And I'm sorry I am behind on all my correspondence with answering YouTube comments and stuff, because there's no internet. No, not internet. There's no cell service here in the middle of nowhere, because Labor Day weekend, everybody descended on the place, and we have 0 cell service. So in addition to moving and no cell service, I've fallen far behind on lots of communicating things, watching videos, commenting on videos. So sorry if I haven't watched or commented on your video. I'm so sorry. That's all the news. Back to our regularly scheduled program. We've got Dark Garden, and this was going so well, and I was so happy with it. And then there was an accident. I'll tell you what that was in a second. In the back is just the usual black, apple barrel black matte acrylic paint. It's very black. I love it. No streaks, etc. With a stencil and silky gel crayon on top of that. For the background, the rest is like alcohol markers and gel pen. And I don't think, let's see, Dark Garden, stencil. Yep, that's it. Now what happened here that upset me quite a bit was I was flecking paint because I had done alcohol marker for these like center things. Oh, I don't know what they're called. The part that spreads the pollen. Beautiful alcohol marker, and I was just going to fleck it with paint, and then I can't remember if like the brush hit or my finger hit or something, but there was a big blob. So then I had to go and like finger paint and blob it on there, because there was no disguising that, and sprinkle it again. And then I added some silver, if you can see it, silver dots there. Yeah, so there was a bit of a snafu there, a little accident that happened, but I don't know. It seems to look okay. Although, gosh, July and August seems like I used a lot of purple and pinks, but I'm in a purple and pink mood maybe. So yeah, so in the end it turned out okay, even though there was a little bit of a mistake. We made it work. All right. And then we've got Tropica by, again, Carla Magana. This was a big group buddy color. Christina's group, she's doing a big group thing on Instagram and YouTube for Tropica. I think they're going to do one a month. That's kind of a lot for me. I may try to hop in there every other month or something. We'll see how it goes. But I was able to do the first one. I was super proud of myself at the very last minute, too. Again, lots of purples and pinks. I knew I wanted her to be these green colors. For some reason, I liked this like kind of celery green there and built out the palette from there. It's just alcohol markers, gel pens, and in the back a stencil with silky gel crayon, and those are like outlined with some glitter gel pens. So there might be paint marker too. Acrylic paint marker I think is here. Yeah, probably. So yeah, that was super fun. That one came out as I wanted it to. No mistakes there. So that was good. But that was later in the month. This was about the time I started applying for jobs and pretty quickly got one. So, you know, I went from kind of blue to employed pretty quickly. So, yeah, you're allowed to have some downtime in life. It's okay. You know, transitions. All right, then we have a piece in Wow, which was another one of those ones that didn't go so well for me. I had this whole op art vision in mind, and hence you can see it in the background. However, the flowers didn't come out as poppy as I would have liked them, but you know, it's done, it's fine, no big deal. I was working through stuff in July, so we just have a record to prove it. The background is added. All that was on the page was just the flowers, so you can see I added the stripes and the bubbles, and they were just to match kind of the stripes and the bubbles in the piece here. It is alcohol markers and gel pen, and I think that's it. Very bright. Maybe I was trying to improve my mood in that way. I don't know. And this is a buddy color with Jojosa Hannah. I don't think she's finished hers yet. I'm not sure she ever will. It's fine. Either way, don't worry about it, Jojo. This was Creepy Cuties. I believe there's a flip through of this on my channel. This was one I saw in the Walmart. I saw it like 3 or 4 times, and I kept flipping through it and passing, and then I finally brought it home. It's very detailed. And it's manga. It's more cute than creepy. There's not very much creep here. Yeah, it's mostly cute. We'll say edgy. It's a little edgy. But we did the Gargoyles Gaze. And this was this was another one that I fought with. And you got to be careful in this book because this is all taped back here. It did not want to stay in. I don't know if it's because it's the last page or if these are just really delicate perforations there. But the picture runs into the spine on all of these, so I don't know. I would never rip a picture out of my book. That's like sacrilegious to me, but you can do it if you want. I'm okay with that. So lots of alcohol marker. Oh, I blacked out, you know, when in doubt, black it out. That's my saying. I blacked out the back. There was like other buildings here. I'm not that fond of doing buildings. I love to draw buildings and ink them. I don't really like to color them in though. I don't know why that is. But this building was hard because I'm like, some of these lines make no sense. Like, I don't understand how the building is. And the building in the back was even worse than this building, drawn-wise. So I blacked it out. And then with my Art Philosophy metallic paint colors, I just did the moon on top of the black. Overkill with the stars as usual. I kind of always do that. In my mind, in my ideal mind, that's what the sky looks like. Because space is full of stars. That's my theory anyways. I loved the wing on this. It was all full of designs. So we went kind of alcohol marker crazy and then gel pen crazy, just making marks like I like to do. The skin was a whole nother matter. It started out much lighter and then I kept adding color, adding color, adding color. It just wasn't right. I couldn't get it right and I kept adding marker on top of it. In the end, we have something that's okay, I think. I rather like him. And so, like I said, alcohol marker, gel pen, paint, metallic watercolor, brute fooner, and Prismacolors. I think that's about it. Okay. I did my two. This is my black and white book. I did one in July and one in August. So, oh, this is, I didn't say, Amazing Patterns Zen Doodle book by Joseph Raby. It feels like it's getting quite full. Super excited. All right, so I did that one. And this is just, these are just with micron pens. Nothing fancy. So there you go. And then the August one is that one. I find these very relaxing, and you know, I'm in the middle of moving, so the other day I was like so keyed up about, like, I couldn't think anymore. I was just pacing around the house like a wild cat or something, and I just had to sit down and just pick one color. These are very relaxing for that one color thing. So that's for my black and white book. And then we're moving into, I think I finished this one like the 1st of August or something, but this was a July one. This is Medieval Tapestries. This is a buddy color with Jennifer Bickerstaff. She's on Instagram. Check her out. Hers is amazing. She had a good idea to do all the foliage with gold. That was a good idea. I should have thought of that. But here we go. We did this one. Again, some more accidents in July. So you can see me testing here, test page. I did the dark blue. And I was trying to, and just a tiny bit of ghosting, like you can hardly see it. Although when we got to the page, oh, bleed through. Bleed through, bleed through. Oh, very sad about that page. Anyways. I wanted to do it with water-based markers. So the background is water-based markers. The fence is water-based markers. I think the tree is, and mostly everything is water-based markers. The unicorn is Prismacolor, I think. Let's see here. Greenery. Yep, Prismacolor. There's some gold nope, Signo gold gel pen. I think a few other gel pens on the tail and mane and horn as well. And then the flowers, I so wanted to do with my Hemi gouache, but that wasn't working on top of the dark. I didn't cover up the flowers necessarily, but it wasn't working, so I had to switch to acrylic paint markers, and not those acrylic paint markers that you don't shake and then prime. You had to use the real acrylic paint markers, not the glorified ones. So acrylic paint markers for all the foliage. So yes, I was really pleased. Like, my fence is with water-based markers, and I was really pleased with how I was able to blend them and stuff on this page. And the only water-based marker that bled through was the blue. All the other water-based markers did not bleed through. So it's something with the blue in those tiny little spaces, just left it there too long or something. Ugh. When I go to do that one, I'm going to have to use acrylic paint or something to cover that up. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how it turns out. And Jennifer's is awesome. She made it much simpler than I did. I mean, I worked on this little bit, all these little bitty things, like all month of July, and then didn't even finish. I think I was doing something with my new job or something. I can't remember what the hang up was, but yeah, I did enjoy it. But it was just a lot of little doodads, so I just pecked away at it. I did a little bit, kind of like every day or every other day or something, so that was fun. Medieval Tapestries. Thank you, Jennifer, for doing a buddy color with me. I appreciate it greatly. And then we have my coloring inspiration. This was the first bug page. That was Don't Bug Me, I'm Coloring. This was the first bug page I did, and then I did another one. I actually did two. And this is in, I didn't say, Incredible Insect Designs by Marty Noble. This is the kind of the Inspired by Egypt page. And this was inspired by also Jamie's Coloring Love. Right before I started this page, I was watching her channel, and she had done a shout out to me, so I went there and I was watching it. And one of the first things she showed was a page she was doing with all glitter gel pens. And I'm like, oh, it's coming out so good. I kind of want to see that done. And I said that. And then I was, either that day or the next day or something, it's still fresh in my mind. I actually had a color scheme similar to this picked out with colored pencils, Prismas, of course, because what else would I use? And then I thought, I recently bought like a whole bunch of Jelly Roll gel pens. Like, I'm going to look at those and check those out. So I got a whole bunch out. I mean, it took hours. I was picking out colors for hours, it seemed like. And I just decided, based on Jamie, this is your fault, Jamie, I would try something with lots of gel pens, because I really have not done that ever. So usually it's just accents, but this is just glittery goodness. So there's lots of gel pens, different kinds. Jelly Roll, I have Pentel dual metallic hybrids. I have a few Arteza left. Most of those stopped working before I even got to use them. And I have my favorite gel pen is not from Jelly Roll. It's from the Joann's Art Alternatives. It's a glittery black one. That Jelly Roll doesn't have one like this, at least not one that I have yet, but looks like that. Yes, that's my favorite gel pen. I was recently in a Joann's, the whole aforementioned Phoenix trip, and I bought 3 more of those. So, because I've already blown through like the one I bought just like a month ago. Yeah, so there's Prismacolor out here. I think it's based, some things are based with alcohol marker and then just Prismacolor on top. Oh, maybe Micron for the little, whatever those are, dragonflies or something. So that's it for that. I really like how that came out. I'm doing another one in this book for September, part of my inspiration, which I'm going to film in just a bit with the books that I have here in the house. Whatever's here in the house gets to be used. We had our group buddy color in August in Magic Dreamland. Hopefully I have that right. Oh my gosh, those ladies hit it out of the park. We did the panda one. We haven't yet decided on the next month, which will be September, which will be November, I believe. We did Panda Bear. Now there's a whole video on this one and the next one I'm going to show you of me altering the pages. Now this one is more drastically altered. I'm not sure there's anything shiny on here. Oh, I don't think there's anything shiny, so I don't have to flip it around. I didn't like the background. I just didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, what is it? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Of course, this is a very nonsensical book, but I decided that I wanted to do graffiti because I love graffiti, so may as well. It says Master Raspberry Zinger. And like I said, there's an entire video on me altering this page kind of step by step, how we did it. So there's of course the black paint, which I use, Apple Barrel Black Matte Acrylic Paint. That's my favorite paint. So I love the Apple Barrels, but of course the black one is my favorite. It gets rid of everything. I did this with a stencil, but then I altered the stencil. So the words are kind of started with a stencil, which is a trick I have. Sometimes I write them out, but here I used a stencil and then altered it. So it's an alter on alter kind of page. There's water-based markers, Ohuhu and Tombow, but I find the Ohuhu water-based markers work better on this paper. The Tombow resists a lot more. There's lots of acrylic paint markers. There's Micron and black acrylic paint markers. There's Prismacolor and Crayola. I used a Crayola colored pencil. And I think that's about it. So altered the background, added the graffiti. There were flowers here. Some of these were flowers. I didn't like the flowers. I started doing them. They didn't turn out good, so I had to cover them up. But yeah, I went crazy with that one. very pleased with that one. It came out good. It was rushed there at the end because I had to go. I'd been offered the job, and then I had to go to Oklahoma to do some things there for the job. So it was a bit rushed, but it came out okay anyhow. I thought I had a paper here. Don't know what I did with it. All right. And then the last one, kind of the same vein, was also a bit rushed there at the end, but there's a whole video on how we did this one kind of step by step. This is Jewelry Box by Hannah Carlson. My brain doesn't work anymore, it's so overloaded. This is another Don't Bug Me, I'm Coloring page. The 4 flies were here in the necklace, and the heart thing on the necklace were there. I added the checkerboard background because I'm like, this just calls for a checker. I love checkerboards. My painting life before this included a lot of checkerboards and dots and circles and stuff like that. Very abstract expressionist. But so added checkerboard. The writing is. Oh, I didn't color one of my dragonflies there. I'll have to color him when I'm done with this. The writing here is with a stencil and silky gel crayon. I love those silky gel crayons. They go over paint really well, and normal backgrounds too. The flies are, again, I used a lot of, really coming into my gel pen time, I guess, because there's a lot of gel pen. There's also acrylic paint markers, so it's a mixture of gel pen and acrylic paint markers. And mostly that's it. So pretty easy, straightforward. I was really rushing at the end to finish before I had to go to Oklahoma, so that along the road I could upload the video where there might be some, Wi-Fi and cell signals and internet, internet and stuff that we don't have here in where I live. So I'm gonna add a dragonfly there because he's colored, he's traced but not colored in. I may revisit this. I like it, but I may revisit it and fix some things because it was very rushed there at the end. So that I could take my trip. All right. So if you want to see how that was done, you can tune into that video. All right. I thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in Oklahoma when I see you. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.